A new bill would eliminate the funding used to pay debt from the construction of Nashville's Music City Center.
The convention hall opened a decade ago and is the largest civic project in Nashville history. Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally made it pretty clear in a statement to News Channel 5 that this bill was filed as retaliation for Metro Council rejecting a bid from the Republican National Convention to come to Nashville in 2024. McNally says in part, if Nashville wants to prioritize political posturing over prosperity for its people, that's their prerogative, but the state does not have to participate. And that isn't the only example of Tennessee Republicans hoping to seek vengeance against the Democrats who lead Nashville.
News Channel 5's Chris Davis shows us how another piece of legislation that is fanning the flames of a rivalry between the capital and the state's capital city.
This all began last summer when Metro Council officially blocked the Republican National Convention from coming to Nashville in 2024. Now the state legislature has filed a bill that would essentially cut that very same body in half. During a lunch meeting with the Economic Club of Nashville, it inevitably came up.
I've talked to a lot of business owners here in Davidson County, Republican, Democrat, Independent, they're all over the place, who think that Metro Council is dysfunctional.
It's a controversial bill that would ban any Metro government in Tennessee from having more than 20 council members. A direct attack against Metro Council, since Nashville is the only city that meets that qualification with 40 members. But the Tennessee Speaker of the House also said this about the RNC snub.
They rejected it twice, not that we have any hard feelings.
Now it's Nashville Mayor John Cooper with the hard feelings. He says this bill goes against the wishes of Nashville voters.
Numerous times have been the opportunity to change that. The public every time decisively has said they're happy with that, and the choice of the people in a local community should be the choice.
If the bill passes, Metro Council elections would slide back a year to 2024, and the city would have to redraw and combine multiple districts. That could prove to be a logistical nightmare. In fact, Metro Legal says it would, quote, undoubtedly disrupt Metro's operations, undermine the stability of the city, and poses an existential threat not just to Nashville's self-governance, but to the constitutional rights of all local governments. They also threaten legal action if necessary.
The state has oversight over local governments just by the way the Constitution's set up.
But Speaker Sexton seems to think this is a battle they can win.
Some will like it, some will not like it. I completely understand.
Chris Davis, News Channel 5.
Now, both of these pieces of legislation would have to pass the legislature and then be signed by Governor Bill Lee. Governor Lee has already expressed support for cutting down the size of Metro Council. He hasn't commented yet, though, on the bill to defund Music City Center.